What's up guys, this is Chris here, and today we're going to be discussing a concept and then bringing it into reality. So today we're going to be talking about the ultimate pistol caliber carbine, what that could be and maybe what that is. So first off, let's go over existing known pistol caliber carbines. There are some great ones and then there are the best. There are some best operating systems, there's some best ideas, and there's some close calls that all culminated into the gun that you're gonna see today. Now first up, what I would consider the best subgun of all time is the MP5. Now, why is it so good? Well, first off, it's reliable, it's easy to shoot, it's modular, it fires in a very affordable and easy to find round, and it is very soft shooting with arguably the best system, the roller delayed system. Now, the MP5 certainly has some drawbacks. Number one, ergonomics is a bit of an issue. It doesn't have a bolt hold open, the parts are expensive, and even MP5s themselves can be very hard to find. Magazines are also very expensive. So, how would you change the MP5 to be the modern PCC? First off, I would add AR controls. Why would I do that? Because I would consider that to be the best feature set. Since the AR is the most popular rifle in North America, I think most people would agree with me. Not only would you add AR controls, but what else would you add? Well, you certainly would want compatibility with AR parts, that way you could have a better trigger. The MP5 has a good trigger, AR-15s have a great trigger. The issue with turning a subgun into a pistol caliber carbine is you're taking a gun that's full auto and making it semi-auto. The MP5 was designed to be in fully auto, so it works really well because you don't have to reset their long and heavy trigger. Now an AR, for example, designed to be in semi-automatic, they have light, crisp triggers with very quick resets, allowing much faster rates of fire with a standard semi-automatic trigger. I would also want Glock magazines. Now, a lot of pistol caliber carbines on the market do the Glock magazine thing very well. However, not all of them have the feature sets that I mentioned before. The reliability, the accuracy, the speed, the cool factor, and on top of that, the soft shooting recoil impulse of the MP5. So, and I would want Glock magazines. I would also want it to fire the 9mm round as opposed to 40 or 10 because I would want it to be affordable. No matter how expensive the gun is, I always look at ammunition cost because I shoot a lot and it doesn't take me very long to make the ammunition cost more than the gun, whatever gun it is. I would want it to be able to be suppressed and unsuppressed. So if I want to shoot it very quiet with 147 grain subsonics, I would also want to be able to shoot supersonic 115 grain out to distance and 124 grain defensive loads, and I would want those all to cycle extremely reliably. Companies have come close, but only one company has made the gun that I want, and that company is JP. This is what I would consider to be the ultimate pistol caliber carbine. This is the all-new JP5 pistol. Now, before we get any further with the video, I do want to thank the sponsor of this video, Battlehawk Armory. I love the guys over at Battlehawk Armory, and I'm really grateful that they were the sponsor of this video. They're native to Iowa just like me, but they do ship nationwide, so if you're not from here, we understand. You can get your cool stuff anyway. They have amazing prices on all the gear you're ever going to need, even the JP5. We love supporting our local businesses, so we would really appreciate if you do the same and go over and check out Battlehawk Armory. Now this is the JP5 pistol, now a rifle thanks to quick tax stamp times in 2024. I actually am running the new Huxworth Cash 9K on here, which I would consider to be the best 9mm suppressor on the market. It is flow through, so you don't have to worry about all the back pressure that my Omega 9K gives you, which is a lot, which we'll talk about in a minute, but this is flow through, so you don't have any of those problems. It has a M-LOK rail on the gun. It is a full 9-inch with a 10.5-inch barrel. Now you get choices on barrel. I went 10.5 because that gives you the maximum velocity on a 9mm without any more. So if you go past about 10, 11 inches on a 9mm, you outrun your ballistic capability and you start to decrease in velocity. So I wanted the most velocity without adding any more because I want this gun to be short, light, and easy to use. So it's the same size as, let's say, a Mark 18, almost the exact same size as Mark 18 because it has a 10.5-inch barrel, but you get the full ballistics of the 9, which is dope. This gun also is running the roller delayed system, but unlike the MP5, this system is actually adjustable adjustable even. So even though we've ran 115, 124 grain, and 147 grain without adjusting it at all, because it comes great from the factory, but you can adjust it if you want a lighter or stiffer recoil impulse, or if you're running some super odd ammunition like tracers or something like that. Now you'd want the gun to be right and left hand capable, and so it is. We have controls on the left side and right side, magazine release on both sides, and a bolt release on both sides, and a magazine release on both sides. So it is the most ambi AR you can find as well, along with an ambi charging handle from Raptor. This is so much fun. If this isn't the funnest rifle I've ever shot, I don't know what is. Now the JP5 is an expensive gun, which we'll get to here in a minute, but I think it's worth it, and you get expensive features on the gun as well. You get a fully silicone carbided M-lock rail with more slots on it than you can shake a stick at. We have a Picatinny rail up top here. I like when they do the full pick rail instead of not having it because it just looks cheap. You get a billet upper and lower receiver. You get a flat-faced, unbelievable trigger here, as you can see. The reset on it is way, way better than any other PCC that I've been into, aside from maybe the Terran Tactical. It's so fast, so little recoil. You're on those targets at 75, and when you pull the trigger and let go, you're still on the target, just wham, wham, wham. I mean, you can just hammer on that target, and they're gonna hit. Damn. Obviously, I've thrown my XL grip on there because it can take AR controls. And then we have a buffer tube with a BCM stock. You can get whatever stock system that you want. Now, the star of the show is obviously going to be the barrel and the action, because it runs the low mass system in it, so it is very, very quiet to shoot with the suppressor. On top of that, you're shooting a very quiet round, so it's a super quiet, super accurate, super fast home defense gun. And on top of that, arguably the best trainer for an AR-15, because you can shoot steel up close. The ammunition is half or even a third the cost, and it's going to be no noise, no blast, so it'd be a great trainer for somebody that's never been on an AR before. This is actually the gun I give to people to shoot for the first time, because it's a little more fun than a 22. It looks like some shit right out of Call of Duty, and it is the easiest shooting gun you will ever try. Try wrapping this thumb over too, and squeeze the gun back in your shoulder while pushing your body. You're kind of like pull pushing, you know?
Yeah, I get it.
There you go. Much like this. Now, I also want to thank JP for sending this gun over. They sent me this pistol for review, but you guys know that won't change my opinion at all. On top of that, I did have a JP rifle, which we got without them a year ago, and I have been shooting that, and I have 2,000 to 3,000 rounds through that, and that gun is absolutely excellent as well. All right, now through the testing of this gun, we're at about 1,400 rounds now. We have shot low-powered competition ammo, we've shot subsonic 147 grain, we've shot full-power defensive 124 grain, and we've shot standard, mostly anyway. The most of those rounds were 115 grain Blazer. Almost all those rounds were suppressed. The only unsuppressed rounds were just to check it, and we actually ran it with 2 different suppressors. The first suppressor, which is why it's so dirty, was my classic Omega 9K, which has like 50K rounds through it now, which is pretty hilarious, but it is a standard suppressor.
Oh, you're gonna get so much gas in your face.
Whereas the new suppressor I'm running on it, the Cash 9K, is a flow-through, so you don't get all the blowback and all the dirtiness and the gas in your face that you normally would with a standard suppressor. So I think it is probably the new age, and I think it's probably the best suppressor for this gun. This suppressor was even made for pistol caliber carbines like this one. All right, let's try her out at 25. What do you think, is that fast enough?
just having too much.
This is proving to be one of my favorite personal guns. We're gonna have about 1,400 somewhere in there with no cleaning. So I haven't cleaned the barrel, I haven't cleaned the bolt or anything at all. So 1,400 rounds of mixed ammunition, all of it, almost all of it, suppressed. So if you were worried about the reliability of bougie competition guns, competition guys don't like jams either. Fast enough? All right, now the nice thing about having a shorty is that it's easy to move around structures, and it makes for a super good home defense gun, especially if you're in an apartment or something, and or you just want a low recoiled light shooting gun. 9mm is definitely effective, not as effective as a full rifle caliber or maybe a shotgun, but it is certainly effective. And out of this 10.5-inch barrel, you're gonna get everything you're gonna get out of the 9. Now, with a suppressor, you can shoot in structures and in close quarters without blowing the old eardrums out, or maybe your kid's eardrums, which is a thing that I don't think a lot of people think about. So if you shoot a SCAR 17 next to your kid's room, he's not gonna like that. So it's kind of nice to have something short, light, and quiet. So if I wanted to go right up next to the wall, now you guys know I have ear problems, but it's not gonna be an issue. And still drop a threat with no problems. I love it. Now, suppressed 9s are really nice because 147 grain is subsonic, super easy to shoot, and super available. 300 Blackout is probably a better cartridge for home defense, just being completely honest with you, because you can go subsonic and then you can go supersonic. Unlike a 9, it'll hit like a rifle, like a 7.62 by 39, which is great for stopping power. The downside to 300 Blackout is that it's freaking expensive, and the guns are generally pretty expensive. So be aware of that. Also, 300 Blackout does work with 5.56 mags, but if you want to be solid and you want to have good reliability, I would get 300 Blackout mags, which is added cost. So 9 is going to be cheaper to shoot, and it's going to be a lot more fun overall. Not as good for home defense, but pretty good. I doubt if you came out with this and you were shooting 30 rounds every 2 seconds, they're going to wonder what caliber you were shooting. They're probably just going to get the hell out of your house. So running the Unity point mount on there with the aim point because I wanted the best optical setup for this gun, and the Raptor charging handle is awesome, ambi controls are awesome, and everything on the gun worked as advertised, and it fucking should, because this is a $3,000 PCC. It is very expensive. Now, it's not the only one. The MP5 is right there. The BNTs can be right there. The Terran Tactical is certainly right there. So it's in good company, and all those guns are excellent. Now, if you want to get your first PCC, or if you're just looking for a really good one for the money, not looking for the absolute best, there are great options available, starting with the X-Tar at $300. The CZ Scorpion is a great gun. It's under $1,000. The CMMG Banshee is a phenomenal gun that can get you real close to this, but it won't have the recoil impulse or the reliability that this gun will. The CMMG is very reliable, don't get me wrong, but I've had malfunctions with the CMMG. I haven't had malfunctions with the JP. On top of that, you get the adjustable roller delayed system, which you're not gonna be able to get in any other gun that has AR controls. Now, the MDP9 from Magstand Arms just recently came out last year, and it didn't do so well, but we actually do have the Gen 2, so I'm giving you a little bit of a preview here that we are gonna be doing that next week or the week after, and that is a very similar gun to the JP5, which is also a new game in town. So as far as I'm aware though, the JP5 is certainly the most proven. I've had one of these that I have thousands of rounds through. This one, I'm running up on that, no reliabilities, and on top of that, these have already won championships. So if you want to look at JP Social, you can see that they have multiple shooters that are way better than me, including Max Mundy, and he's already won a world title with this. I think it's good enough for home defense. I think it's a phenomenal competition gun, so if you want to get just one that does both, this is a great way to go. You can shoot USPSA, PCC division with this. You can just take the suppressor off and run it the way it is, or you can run it with a suppressor. I don't know, depends on how nice your range officers are. But if with the suppressor on it, you're not going to get any times on a shot timer, so your match isn't going to go very well.
I don't think that's on the right thing.
Yeah, it's probably too quiet to register it. That tells you how quiet it is. We're even using supersonic ammo, and the timer can't pick it up. That being said, this is my personal favorite PCC, but it's definitely not for everybody. If you want the peak of speed and accuracy, this is where it is. If you want a good, solid, affordable AR9, you can get stuff like the CMMG or maybe the Scorpion or even the X-Star, as I mentioned earlier. Now, you're not going to get some of these premium features, but they're going to work real well. Overall, I think this, so far at least, is the best PCC I've ever tried. Let me know what you think is the best PCC, and let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me, or if you've ever even seen one of these, because a JP5 pistol is pretty rare. Hopefully they won't be, and hopefully people will watch this video and they'll start getting their hands on them, and we can have further testing, and hopefully you guys can enjoy the fucking awesome sauce that this is. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please support Oklahoma shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.